Well, we're learning a lot of new details about a wanted fugitive suspected of murder in Florida. Police are calling Isabelle Rose Johnson a master manipulator. They're probably calling her a killer, too, suspect, who goes by several aliases and dons various disguises. She is the prime suspect in the gruesome murder of Jason Coulthart, whose body was found zip-tied and buried in a shallow grave last month. Johnson has been evading law enforcement for weeks now. However, police hope these new images will help track her down. So that's going to depend on all of you watching, the public out there. She reportedly has several tattoos, a rose or a flower on her left hand, an unidentified tattoo on her right ankle, and a large scorpion running down her lower back to her thigh. 5 of her alleged accomplices have been arrested so far. So look at this. She had a lot of help, potentially. Police say one of them helped Johnson bury her victim, while others are accused of helping her stay hidden now while this mass search is going on. Johnson is described as 5'3" tall, weighing about 120 pounds. The Walton County Sheriff's Office is offering a $16,000 reward for information leading to her arrest. Donna, this is a long time on the lam, as they say.
It is, especially in today's world, right? You can't even go get a cup of coffee when you're not on video and someone sees you, right?
Everywhere.
So there's cameras everywhere. So people are coming in contact with her and they just don't know it, or she's holed up somewhere, you know, similar to like Luigi Mangione going in and out of hostels. And how did they end up finding him, right? With the pictures with the eyebrows. So there's going to be something here that ends up revealing her. So that will happen. But what's really interesting about this case is not only the fact that she's gotten to this point, but the way her mind must work in order for all of this to happen, right? We were talking about it a little bit before we sat down today, but there is a mindset here that has to be studied, right? Because the fact that you could do this masterfully up to this point, right? What she has had to do to make all of this work, especially in our world today, is pretty astonishing. She will be found. I mean, look at all the people that escaped from the jail. I think it was Georgia not that long ago, and they ended up finding all of them eventually. So, you know, eventually she will be found. Obviously, the tattoos and things like that will be helpful. She can change her hair. She can change her appearance. She can put on different clothes. She can wear glasses. But eventually somebody will realize. Anybody that's telling you a sob story that needs help, saying that they don't have any money, pay attention. If you're out there watching this, she's probably not getting any massages anytime soon. I'm sure she's covering up that tattoo, right? But at some point,
the one on her ankle, I'm thinking if she's not wearing shorts, we might not see any of that.
That's right. And she can have some type of gloves or those jackets that go over your hands. Now, it's Florida. It's hot. Who knows where she is right now? But obviously the people that have been arrested have spoken up and have given information about her. So eventually law enforcement will.
What are your thoughts?
Well, this is an interesting case. I found it most interesting, all of her aliases. You know, so here are her aliases. She's previously been known as Harley, Jessica Elaine Bowman, Jessica Elaine Thrush, Jessica Elaine Thrash, maybe you run into her out there, Jessica Dowdy, and Denise. And I think it's so fascinating to see how incredible our law enforcement is, right? You talked about this whenever we went to break, Harris. This man was found zip-tied underneath concrete, literally in a shallow grave, under concrete with a Cadillac driven over him, and yet police were still able to find him and find all the clues to lead to at least 6 arrests now and figure out that this woman is wanted. But yeah, it kind of freaks you out because you look at her, she doesn't look like a totally crazy person. And so, I don't know, it makes me wonder sometimes. We got to watch out there,
yeah,
folks.
I think the biggest point, though, in terms of them doing a great job in finding, is the car parked over everything, right? I mean, think about that. Their car's parked all over the place. How did they do it? Kaylee.
Well, honestly, what I find most disturbing about this case is the alleged accomplices. Apparently, the roommate helped dig the grave, and then there were 2 couples that hid her and even lied to law enforcement about the fact that they had been allegedly sheltering her. That, to me, points to a much more significant breakdown in our culture and in this community in particular that I find very disturbing. Because, look, our justice system depends in large part on a common respect and desire for justice to be done. It depends on people like Tyler Robinson's family, for example, who helped turn him over to law enforcement because they realized that that was necessary in order for justice to be done in this case. When you have 5 people in this community who not only didn't think that it was important to turn her in, but helped shield her from law enforcement, that's very disturbing. And I think it really questions whether the criminal justice system works, whether self-government works, when so many people seem to oppose it.
David.
Okay, I'm going to be, I don't know if it's the contrarian, but I'm not that shocked. First of all, think about who she is and what her general appearance is. She's 5'2". She's pretty much normal height. Easy to cover tattoos, or in certain areas and environments, tattoos are not noticed by others because so many people, you know, do complete body art these days. So hiding in
she's in a
plain
rock
sight,
band.
right, but hiding in plain sight, being kind of average, she's really good, according to some of the profilers that have talked about this, at seemingly being normal, being able to get to a certain point to get help, and then knowing when to leave, which is typically what a good con man or woman in this case would do. I'm also not, and I think a lot of part of this is it gets attention because it's a woman, but the fact is that shouldn't be the reason. We just are not used to women serial killers. Women are the big fugitives on the run. So this is a fascinating case. To your point about culture, it is disturbing, to say the least, that a group of people did this, that they coordinated this, that they really worked to cover this crime up. But we will see if law enforcement finds her. Unfortunately, Donna, and you know this, there are a lot of unsolved crimes and a lot of people in this country, a lot of murders that go nowhere.
This guy, though, the person the deceased is a dad. I mean, the pictures that we have of him, I don't know if we can pop one up. I mean, it's heartbreaking to think about this.
So what you're saying, David, for all the men out there, is no, you cannot fix her. Am I getting that right?
There are a lot of, she's got a lot of male fans online, I noticed. When I was reading about this.
Luigi had a lot of female
That's
fans.
true.
So
What are we doing?
But there is the victim on our screen right there. Let's pop that back up because it had the tip line too. And I know we reached a point of levity, but the Walton County Sheriff's Office is dealing with this person's family, no doubt. That there is somebody who has perished like this. And Donna, you have a quick thought before we go to break.
I mean, my thought is that you're right. There's a lot of unsolved crimes, but once they've identified somebody that they're looking for, usually they can come up with that person. It may take some time. I mean, even Osama bin Laden was able to hide a long time in a bunker. So it takes some time.
Not forever.
But I think eventually, right, exactly, she will rear her ugly head.
All right, we'll watch the story and update you, hopefully, with the news that she's found and charged. Democrats are facing pressure over their opposition to voter identification, and even James Carville. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.